Hello everyone, and we're back for another video. This time something a little bit different. It's not Club 100, it's not real life racing. We're actually on iRacing, a bit of simulator racing this time. I got asked to do this race by Stephen Hicks, who runs the, I guess it's kind of like a Club 100 iRacing sort of gig that they've got going on. We're in the MX-5s around into Lagos, which is somewhere that obviously I've never raced before, or never raced in this car either, so something a little bit new. It's been a while since I've done any sort of sim racing. I guess back in maybe 2012, 2011 sort of time I did a lot of sim racing. And not to blow my own trumpet, I was actually quite a good sim racer back then, so I am kind of used to it, but I haven't really raced on this platform for a very long time, or done anything sim racing wise for a long time, so this should be a bit of fun. I've got two of the G3 lads racing with me today as well. I've got Matt Hale and Rob Newman, both quite quick on this simulator. They both race it quite a bit, so it should be a lot of fun, to be fair. Now, like I say, it's been a while since I've done this, so we did a few practice laps yesterday. It was very productive. Me and Rob went out in the MX-5 whilst Matt went out in the Indy car. As you can imagine, that was very, very productive. We got some good laps in with Matt chasing us around in an Indy car, so like I say, as you can imagine, there were some good laps put in. Now, it is important to actually get somewhere near the front of the grid if it's going to be anything like Club 100. If you're in the middle or the back of the pack, it's probably going to be carnage. Now, there was actually a session before this that got cancelled off, and I managed to get on pole with a 53.1, so I'm assuming a low 53 is probably what we're going to be looking for here. So I actually come across the line and do a, let's see, a 52.922, so buzzing with that. Now here you're asking me, I wonder what sim he's got, he must have a good simulator. Well, there it is. I've got a wheelie chair and an old school G27 which I bought back in 2011. So as I say, it wasn't good enough for pole. Now this is my actual first start that I actually properly tried, so decent getaway I actually thought, until a certain Piers Pryor in a fluorescent pink car manages to slide it up the inside, so I'll give that position away. I'm not really that bothered with fighting it, but very tentative, I must say. I didn't really get the spatial awareness in this car. I didn't really feel like I knew how close somebody was, so Josh Ladd actually managed to come around the outside. Josh Ladd is a good iRacer. For anybody that knows anything about iRacing, I think he's got like 8,000 iRating or something like that, which is very good. So I'm going to get in the slipstream. I'm actually going to try for a move, but that ain't going to happen. Now around this track you're not going to break away, so I'm more than happy to sit behind him. There's a bit of smoke there as Piers locks up in front. More than happy to sit behind him and just closing on Piers, and we'll try and do something a little bit further down the road. As we go on to lap 3, Josh Ladd actually goes for the move. Don't really go that deep on the brakes, or whether Piers does actually a good job hanging it around the outside. We're actually going to slide up the inside as well, as Piers did suffer with a lot of lag this race, as it just disappears and reappears. Luckily, I got up the inside of him, so I don't have to worry about him lag hitting me up like that. I'm going to go back to the normal line after getting a bit of slipstream off Josh Ladd. I'm going to try this one around the outside. Bit of a risky move, to be fair, but we do brake nice and late on the brakes, but just don't really get tight enough to him. Again, the spatial awareness wasn't really good enough there, as Piers actually misses a gear shift there. We do get a good exit though, so we're going to slide up the inside of Josh Ladd, who, fair play, gives us a bit of space there, so we're back where we started, back in P1. It's only taking us 3 laps, but hey ho, we'll take it. Back in the lead. Now at this track it is ridiculously hard to try and break away. The slipstream effect is just massive. I think unless you're breaking away like maybe a second and a half to 2 seconds, they'll literally close in maybe 3-4 tenths or something like that. As you're about to see that here, I did get a good exit out of the final corner leading up to this, but Josh Ladd just caught up massively in the slipstream. So we start lap 4, Josh Ladd goes up the inside. He does actually go quite deep, and I actually have to take evasive action, as Steve Hicks did actually try and send one up the inside there, which didn't work out, but I do still manage to get a better exit than Josh Ladd. He did obviously go a lot deeper than me, so we're just going to cut on the inside of him. Now, he was going to try and cut me off there, but I think he realised that my car bonnet was actually in front of him, or alongside him, so I think he just thought better of that opportunity. So we're going to go deep in on the brakes, but Josh Ladd actually tries to gamble it around the outside, just completely overshoots it, so as Piers disappears and reappears again. So we actually get in front there. Now this is a prime opportunity to see if we can leave them two battling whilst I potentially try and break away. Now the race is a bit boring up to this point as we come on to the last lap of the race. I did just kind of stay in front, not much really happened, but as we're on board with Josh Ladd, he does try it around the outside, bit of a dummy, didn't really work out. He gets a reasonable exit, but he's kind of just stuck. Not really much that he can do in this position, but he's going to try and get a run coming out of turn 3 here. I'm going to keep it tight. I don't really fancy him going up the inside of me, to be fair. We've already shown twice now that it is quite difficult to try and go around the outside into this corner, so he tries the slipstream, goes back to his normal line. I'm going to do the same, as he kind of just... Does he turn into me there a little bit? Go a little bit deep on the brakes and turn into me? I'm not too sure. We'll look back, and again I go defensive and I come back onto the racing line. I've given him room, but I feel like he's just slightly turning left and goes into the side of my car. As we slow it down here, you'll see it a little bit better. We brake, and then it lets off the brake there and just like goes into the back of me. I don't know if that's my fault, his fault. Let me know. What do you think? There wasn't really much more that I could do there, I don't think, to be perfectly honest.
Me again in turn 3, for f***'s sake. Honestly, what the f*** are we doing here?
Exactly, what are we doing here? Who knows? Now luckily we had a bit of a gap there, so I actually managed to come back on in 4th, hold 4th place. Not a bad result my first race. Okay, yeah, we started on pole, probably could have won the race, but I think my first sim race back in God knows how many years, taking a 4th place isn't really that bad, so quite happy with that result, to be quite honest. Now this is where the fun starts. So it reverse grid, so I'm going to start P25. Now I actually got a really good start this time. I know I said that the first race, but evidently that one wasn't a good start. This one, however, is. The only problem is that you can't really do too much with it. This is going to be chaos, I imagine, so we're going to go, not tentative, but we don't really want to go like full send on it either and get wiped out. We're already starting last time, it's not like we can go anywhere further back, but hey ho. So I'm going to leave a bit of room on the inside into that corner. We've already made 3 places now, so it's not a bad start. Not a bad start at all. Everyone tends to go to the inside on this, so I'm actually going to gamble for something slightly different. We're going to try something a little bit adventurous here. Let's try and send one right outside. But the guy in the orange car comes in front of me, so I can't really go deep on the brakes. Now we do take curb and a little bit more here. Don't really gain anything from it. Well, I gain nothing from it, to be fair, because I don't even go past that guy on the inside of me, so hey ho, not much has really happened there. But we've got Steve Hicks in front of me now. This is actually the last round of the championship. Steve Hicks is battling for the championship, so I know that he's not going to do anything too stupid. Me, however, with 2 wide coming to this corner, we'll just float one straight up inside. Let's make it 3 wide. Take loads of that curb on right hand side. We're not bothered. We're going to go around outside of Steve, but that didn't work out. The long way around never tends to end well. As we've got 2 geezers that just wipe each other out, we'll take them as well. Up to P17, I haven't even done out for that. But we'll take 2 places for free, no problem. Now this first lap is literally just... it's just chaos. Just avoid everything that you can. You'll probably make like 10 places just by not doing anything. Just stay on the road and you're guaranteed to make like 5 places, no problem at all. So we get a good run coming out of final corner. Now my teammate on the left of me there, that's Rob Newman. What do I do here? Rob's got a bad run out of corner, so I'm actually going to choose to bump draft Steve. So I'm going to push him all the way down straight, but he gets a little bit scared, you know. He actually presses brake a little bit, so we actually don't get a run. I'm not having that. We're going to go to outside here. I'm not going to follow everyone's line here. Oh no, someone hit wall. Barrel roll in front of everyone. Listen, oh god. Oh, yeah, hit him back. Come back to that line, hit on the inside, geezer's spun off, it hasn't ended well, we've lost places there, we're into 18th. Right, we're going to fast forward a lap because that were a nightmare. We're going to fast forward, straight into P3, matey in front, sends himself off, another guy off there, Steve Hicks runs wide, he runs wide, it's just all going down here. We'll just go to P14, no problem. Now we're going to go inside of Rob Newman, I'm on comms to him, Rob, I'm on inside here, let me past. Now luckily I didn't actually get a puncher. I don't think you can get punched in this game, but Rob were laughing his head off on comms there, laughing his head off. Nearly took me out race. I've come from P25, do you know what I mean? I'm into 13th now. He nearly ended that for me. This race is just madness. It's just absolute madness. Guy up left here, he's thought better of it. He's thought this just looks like chaos, I'm just going to let you past. I'm just going to let you past, I don't know what to do with this. He's seen enough as that guy. He's literally thought, no, I can just carry on without spinning and I'm going to win this race with what's going on in front of me. Me, however, I'm not going to have that. We're just going full attack mode. As we come on to lap 4, we're going inside here, Simon Young. And the send one up inside, he thinks better of it, we're going to outbrake him. A little bit wide, and he does. He goes off track, he's lost a few places now. He'll be thinking, oh no, and oh god. Bad to worse. He's gone from running wide to facing backwards. He hasn't ended well for Simon Young there. Has not ended well for Simon Young. This guy in front of me runs a little bit wide. We're going to go right outside. Actually take a stab at throttle there. I think I got a bit scared that I was going to get wiped out as well, but we're outside, we'll get that job done. Straight up P10. So we've made 15 places now. We've only got 9 more to go. How hard can this be? 9 more places. This has got to be on cards. Got to be on cards here. Right, so coming on to lap 6 here. Straight right outside of this guy. We're not messing about here. Right outside. Covering him up on the inside. Late on brakes. We don't want him trying out here. Take loads at curb on left. Make sure we get car nicely rotated around corner. Boom. Straight up into P5. We can get to front here. Surely. We've still got 4 laps left. As we fast forward on to lap 8. Now, this guy's car livery were quite off-putting. We've got to get past him. I can't concentrate behind this. I've got eyes looking at me all over the place, so we need to make sure we get past. Now, we don't actually defend it. I think he's thought, I'm not fighting the inevitable here. We're just going to let him go past. So, fly this one up inside. Hang him out a little bit, just so he knows what's going on. We'll take a little bit of curb and more, no problem. Now, the issue was that the leader actually had about 4.5 seconds lead at this point, so couldn't catch him. As we come over the line, we're going to finish second from 25th. Buzzing with that, we'll take that all day long. As he actually manages to bin it over the line, crashes straight in. You know, showboating, it's never good, it's never good. Boom, and nearly takes me out as well. I've got to take this car back to mechanics. We're buzzing, we've just got P2, we need to get it ready for next race. As we come on to the third and final race, it's run a little bit differently as this one, as Stephen Hicks actually makes a jump start. The top 10 from the previous race, they get reversed, so I actually started this one P9. Craig Brown makes a blinder of a start. I'm still P9 though, so I haven't lost anything. As we come down to the first corner, he's getting done round the outside and says, no thank you. No, not having him right outside. So I'm going to leave him a little bit of space there, because it felt like he was a little bit tentative. Felt a little bit edgy to me, so we're just going to leave him some room and make sure that we don't get wiped out. Now as we come down into turn 3, I'm not really in a position to make any moves. At the same time, I don't really have to defend either. As you can see, there's just a melee of cars coming down here, so we're going to get through nice and safely. Craig Brown, however, a little bit of karma there, gets wiped out. Josh Ladd will be buzzing about that one. He got wiped out in turn 1. Craig Brown gets the revenge, and he gets turned around as well. So my teammate in front here, Matt Hale, he's made a decent start. He's up in what, maybe P4 is that, I think? Yeah, P4, so he's had a good start. I probably should have sent one up inside of him then, but I'm sat in P7, we're half a lap in. I don't really want to be risking too much, but he does run a little bit wide here, so this is my opportunity. I'm going to take a little bit curb and more, a little bit of grass, float one straight up inside, up into P6. As Matt gets a little bit leery. Oh god. A little bit leery coming out of that corner. Let's have a look. It's a little bit of wheel spin and a little bit of a helping hand to go backwards as I take care of him. Thank you very much. I think that was a team plan. That Matt did that as a ploy. That's what we planned in testing when Matt were driving IndyCar. That's what we tried. So that worked out alright. Did that. Cheers, Matt. Thank you for that. So I'm up into P4. It's been a good first lap. Now we're going to fast forward on to lap 3 here. Now I'm going to go for a move to get myself onto the podium. He kind of defends, but then kind of gives it up. He must have thought, nah, it's not happening in this. I'm not going to hang on to this for long, am I? So I'm just going to float one up inside. Didn't really go deep enough on the brakes, to be honest. I should have made sure that move were done. So I've had to give him a little bit of room just on the exit, but I've got a decent exit though, to be fair. So we're going to come out of the center S's straight into the slipstream of whoever's in P2. I don't know who this is, but we're getting to his slipstream now. He goes half track, kind of half defensive. Well, I'm not going to go half, I'm going to go full send here. So straight up the inside into turn 3. I'm going to have to hang him out a little bit on the exit. Don't really fancy him sticking out on the outside, so We'll hang him out, make sure it gets done. Now, he's been hounded here as well by the geese that I just passed into the first corner as well, so that should give me a little bit of a chance to pull away. Or he's going to get done up inside as well. This guy's now, is he going to lose 2 places in 2 corners? No, he's done it outside. No, he's done well there. He's done well, so I'm up into P2. Now, the guy ahead, David Wong, he's going to go for the, he's going to go for the rallycross line. Now, I don't think that's going to be faster, so it's going to give me a decent opportunity to get into the slipstream here, so we do gain quite a bit of time in there. We're going to see if we can actually do anything here, see if we can actually get into the lead of this race, try and take the first win of the day. So, he's actually going to go slightly defensive, so I'm actually just going to throw him. Throw him a little bit of a dummy. Go for dummy move. I actually can't tell where my braking point is now at this point, so we do go in a little bit slow, and he manages to actually hang it round the outside. The other really disappointing thing about this is that I didn't even get a good exit, so I'm kind of out of ideas on this lap now. I'm not close enough to make a move coming down into turn 3, so what went from that could have been a very good move turned out to just be something of nothing. So as we come to the end of lap 6, the lapped car in front is actually Matt Hale, the guy that got wiped out on the first lap, my teammate. So David Wong's going to go for the very obscure line here to try and get to his slipstream. I'm going to take a more normal line, and we're going to get a good run on Matt here. David actually does a very good thing. He actually kind of boxes me in, so I've got nowhere to go, but he does actually go in incredibly deep there, so he actually nearly bins it, to be quite honest, but he gives me a very good exit, so we've got a good chance here to try and take the lead if possible. Now, he don't really go that defensive here. I actually thought he'd defend that quite hard, but I guess what he's thinking is there's plenty of laps left, the slipstream around this track is very big, so he's probably going to stand a chance, but he does actually try and stick it around the outside, but just completely overdoes it. I'm going to cut his nose off a little bit. I don't want him, as I've said before, I don't really want him coming side by side of me up into the next corner if I can help it, so let's see if we can try and break that 2-second barrier. So we're going to take the 2-second slipstream barrier and try and make this a very easy race, easy first win of the day if possible. Now, I didn't quite manage to break the 2-second barrier, however I did actually manage to keep him at bay, so we're going to come across the line for the third and final race of the day and manage to take a well-earned win. I think I've had a couple of opportunities to win today, so finally get one on the board. Now, it became apparent that everyone over the line were just crashing. It just seemed a celebratory thing to do, so that's exactly what I'm going to do as well. As what goes from a chaotic few races today turns just into, well, pure destruction. So it's been a good 3 races. Very much enjoyed it. I've had a 4th, a 2nd and a 1st, so can't really complain with that for my first sim race back in a while. As we're about to see the aftermath of exactly what happened right here. If you've enjoyed the video, give it a like, subscribe, and yeah, keep your eyes peeled for any more videos coming. Thank you.